Hey y'all, I'm going to review NW Power episode 24 because Baffini said not enough. There's not many NW Power reviews on YouTube. Now I'm not going to do this move for move because I'm only a cattle wrestling reviewer, but I'm going to talk about what I act and what I react because I thought this was a great show. I thought this was I thought this was, well, not way better, but I did think it was better than that show last week, the comeback show. I thought this was a bit better. To start us off, we got Nick Aldis doing an interview with, I think, Josh Barnett or something like that. Um, we get Nick cutting a promo, and he's like, I suffer from a serious medical condition. It's it's very 100% success rate it's got, and I suffer from a very serious medical condition. Cause all I know how to do is win. I won an NWA Backflip attack against Aaron Stevens. A valiant effort by Stevens, but I beat him. And I won that week too in that 6-man match. I mean, my team got the victory. And the interviewer pointed out to him, well, the reason why he got that victory is because there was some tension between Kratos and Aaron Stevens at the end of the match. And Adonis actually got the role of victory. Is Adonis now Adonis has basically had your back the last couple times. It's Adonis tricky business. And Nick said, now hold up a bit, say young man. You don't, which I love that he just said that. He says, hold up a bit, young man. You don't just get a few victories under your belt, get a handshake from the champion, and then all of a sudden you're in tricky business. He's an associate, but he's not in tricky business as of yet. This brings out Trevor Murdoch. He called out Adonis for a match. He says, hey, you took me out for a week. I couldn't get a paycheck. I couldn't provide for my family. I couldn't do what I do. Maybe you could argue that maybe he should have been out for a couple more weeks, but I don't know. I thought it was fine. Um, he called out Adonis for a match. He says, hey, I want you in a no DQ, no count out match. If I have to put my national title on the line to get you in the ring, then I'll do it. And this leads to a nice little exchange, possibly a nice little tease between Aldis and Murdoch of a match they're gonna have down the line. And at the end of it, which I'm not going to recite this promo verbatim, but at the end of it, Nick says, we both trained by Harley Race. What do you think is the number one lesson that Harley would teach you? Think back. What's the number one lesson that Harley taught you while you were a student? And Murdoch just said, well, what's on your mind, Jam? Just tell me what's on your mind. Nick Aldis just looks at him. He says, never turn your back on your opponent. Chris Adonis attacks Murdoch from behind, jams his head into the ring post, jams his neck against the side, has him on the floor. Like, I think he he may body slam him or something, but he has him on the floor and he cranks his neck just viciously and mercilessly, and I've never seen a technical beatdown like that before. So the match is set for later on in the night. Chris Adonis versus Trevor Murdoch for the national title. We were actually supposed to get Fred Ross versus Hope for the NWA TV title, but instead it's been bumped to next week in favor of that match, which I think is a good idea. It's so that anything can happen on a wrestling show. So I think that was a good idea. We have Austin Idol managing Tyrus, putting Tyrus over big time on commentary, and one thing that got a kick out of me was Tyrus and Austin Idol came over to the commentary table, and Velvet Sky's there, cause Velvet Sky is an announcer. So Velvet Sky's there, and Tim Storm just goes, "Hey, for your own protection, for your own safety, why don't you back up a little bit?" And then they just go, "They kicked the woman out. Did you see that? They kicked the woman out." And that just got a chuck out of me, honestly. We get Tyrant versus someone. I can't remember his name either. I'm sorry. But this was just domination by Tyrant. His opponent got some offense in, which was good. But other than that, this was just domination by Tyrant. At one point, Tyrus has him down and is like sticking his knuckles into his neck, like in a kind of vicious, modified sleep hold, which I really enjoy that. But in the end, Tyrus picks up the victory, the Manster, as Idol called him, half man, half monster, which I think that's good. But we also got a possible tease. Maybe if Tyrus versus Nick Aldis out. Maybe Tyrus versus Nick Aldis for the NWA title down the line. And I said on my NWA Back for the Attack review, I would like to see that. Just Tyrus go for the title. Maybe not win, because I still have Kenny Omega to take that title from Nick Aldis. But I think that'll be a good match. I think that'll help establish Tyrus, maybe put him on the map a little bit. We get a women's tag team match, basically a women's invitational, sponsored by Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa tagging with Alex Garcia, which on a side note, Alex Garcia, I think he's the future of the women's division in the NWA. You can say what you want, you can debate with me about it if you want, but just for me, I saw something that I think is going to be the future of the NWA women's division. This was a good match. Alex Garcia and Thunder Rosa taking on another team. I can't remember the names except to go with the guys who won. Sorry about that. But history is written by the winners anyway. So but this was a great match. At one point, we had Thunder Rosa and Genesis. And Genesis going at it in the ring. That was good. Teasing a future match between them, probably a future one-on-one match. I love that. And Thunder Rosa, it looked like was about to pick up the victory when Camille slides into the ring, and as Thunder Rosa running at Genesis to for Kildon or something, Camille just slides into the ring, gets in position, and cuts Thunder Rosa in half with a spear, which I thought were great. I cannot wait to see Serena D versus Camille whenever Serena gets killed. But this was a good match. I thought. Then up next we had Aaron Stevens and Kratos backstage for an interview, and Aaron Stevens says, "Hey, I dedicate the rest of my career to the memory of Joseph Hudson, and as of right now, the work I put in the ring, it'll reflect it." And SoCal, his name's Sal. I can't remember what his last name is, but Sal comes up and he's like, "Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I heard what you said and you were right. I'm not getting any younger here, so I just thought it'd be a good idea to ask for a tag title shot." Aaron said anytime, and Sal says, "Well, how about next week?" So they're gonna fight next week. I'm expecting some more dissension between Kratos and Aaron Stevens because I'd really like to see that match. Yeah, like I say, I really see Stevens on another level because of that, because of the outing he had with Nick Aldis. So I'm really looking forward to see that match. I don't know who Sal's partner's gonna be, speaking of which, but maybe it'll be her turn or something like that. Then we get our main event. Well, first we get a promo between Fred Rosser and Cole, and Fred Rosser says, "Hey, look at you! You're not dressed to fight. You ain't ready for this." And yeah, they're gonna have a match next week and for the TV title, and it's gonna be good. Next we get our main event. Our main we get our main event between my mind went blank for a second, but the main event is between Chris Adonis and Trevor Murdoch for the NWA National Title. No DQ, no count out. Nick Aldis is on commentary for him. Nick Aldis and Tim Storm have a little exchange. Speaking of which, I think they possibly sowed some seeds for Tim Storm, Nick Aldis retirement match, sometime down the line for the NWA title, which I think is going to be a good idea. Yeah, the last time I know that they said that it would tempt them the added opportunity for the NWA title, but let's be honest, we'd all love to see him get in the ring and mix it up with each other again. We'd especially love to see Tim Storm slap the taste out of his mouth for all the jabs and all the disrespect he sent his way. But this was a massacre by Chris Adonis. This was a foregone conclusion on the T. I mean, Trevor Murdoch got some offense in as he should, but this was just utter domination. Trevor Murdoch comes out in a neck brace. Chris Adonis targets the neck. At one point, he had Trevor Murdoch outside on the floor, and he slammed him on the concrete, right onto the neck. And I thought that was just a great spot. We have Chris Adonis working over the neck of Trevor Murdoch. He could have put him away several times, but he wanted to see him suffer. He wanted to make a statement. Adonis at one point chokes cause it's no DQ. He chokes Trevor Murdoch with the neck brace and just rips it off and like mocks him, like rolling the neck brace himself and acting like he has a hook neck and everything, which I thought great. Eventually Chris Adonis gets Trevor Murdoch in the mat Dioc. He keeps it on for a few seconds, but then he grabs him in the full Nelson Slam and slams him to the mat right on the neck. Then he gets on top of him. Well, he gets on top of the back, and he yocks in the mat Dioc real tight. And Trevor reacts for a while, because he's all hard, he's a country biscuit fest Southern boy, so he asked for a while, but ultimately he passes out to the Matt Dioc, and the new NWA National Champion is Chris Adonis. I think that's great. Yeah, like I said in the NWA Back for the Attack review too, I see big things for Chris Adonis. I really do. I don't know how WB met them up as bad as they did, but I see big things for Chris Adonis. He may not be on the Authors level quite yet, but him teaming up with Aldis, which is probably what's going to end up happening, I'm really looking forward to. So that was NW Power episode 24. Well, guys, thank you for getting into my review. I know it wasn't the most coherent, but thank you anyway for getting into it. Like I said, I'm just cattle wrecking reviewer most of the time. I'm a passed on the YouTube channel. So, yeah, Jesus love you and have a great day.